As world attention shifts towards environmental issues, a quiet crisis caused by climate change is playing itself out on the island of Madagascar. The south of the country has always been dry, but biannual rains meant that farmers here could plant and harvest their crops twice a year, enough to see them and their families through the lean seasons. But for the last 2 years those rains have failed. Once mighty rivers have run dry and crops have died. People here, especially children, have begun to starve. Leotanahi and her husband are farmers, but when their crops failed, they began to run out of food. They have 10 children, but it was their youngest daughter who was hardest hit. She grew thin and weak.
I had seeds and planted sweet potatoes, but because there was no rain, they dried up. I noticed my daughter was getting thinner, but there was no food, and when she got even thinner, I took her to the health center.
Her story is one of many. Almost every farmer in the 3 drought-affected regions has lost their crops. In the last 20 years, the average annual rainfall here has fallen from 111 mils to a mere 27.5. Droughts used to be the exception, occurring maybe once every 10 years. Now, they're the norm. So too is malnutrition. Almost every child at every health center is malnourished.
Around 80% of children under 5 in this area are affected by malnutrition. 70% suffer from acute severe malnutrition and 10% from moderate malnutrition.
But UNICEF, WFP, NGOs, the National Nutrition Office and the Malagasy Ministry of Health have been hard at work to subvert the crisis. Through an early warning system and with the help of community volunteers, an estimated 80% of malnourished children in the 3 drought-affected regions have been reached. They are brought to health centers where they are weighed and measured. Each child is then examined and, if needed, given doses of fortified ready-to-use therapeutic food. After 1.5 months of treatment, Leotanahi's daughter is chubbier and more energetic. Even so, it'll be another month and a half before she is fully recovered. For some, the effects last far longer.
There is a more long-term impact, and you can see it in preschool children that have been malnourished. They are always tired, and when they reach school age, they struggle to keep up.
To ensure that malnourished children do recover, and that their doses of ready-to-use therapeutic food are not shared with healthier siblings, families of malnourished children are also supported with food supplies. A few recent rains have provided some respite for farmers, but their beleaguered supplies won't see them through the next 6 months, when the next rains are due, if they come at all. Through climate change, drought in Madagascar is threatening to become the status quo, and malnutrition a way of life. This is Guy Hubbard, reporting for UNICEF Television. Unite for Children.